watching NBC5 Today.
A shootout in downtown Dallas.
I heard the gunshots, probably 15, 20 rounds, and then I see them firing inside the entrance right there.
Shots fired at the federal courthouse this morning. The gunman is dead, and now investigators want to know why he did it. But first, on this Tuesday morning, 6 o'clock is your time. We need to start with some breaking news in Mansfield, where a couple of hours ago, a police officer shot a man outside an iHop. This happened around 4 o'clock this morning at the iHop there on Debbie Lane, just off of Highway 287.
All right, so we've got a map here of exactly where that happened. Investigators say the man pulled out a gun and was waving it inside of that restaurant. After employees and customers were able to escape, the man came outside. That's when officers stepped in between the man and the people who ran from the restaurant and shot that man. Our Tim Siesko is live at the scene right now with the very latest. Good morning, Tim.
Yeah, good morning to you, Laura. Police say fortunately nobody else, no officers, no employees, no customers were hurt during this incident. Still a fairly large crime scene right now around the restaurant and the parking lot here. The Texas Rangers are on scene. They will be leading this investigation, which the Mansfield Police Department says is standard operating procedure whenever one of their officers fires their weapon. Now, this morning, police say they're not sure why that suspect, whose name has not yet been released, came to the restaurant, but they do know the customers and employees inside were extremely scared when he walked in and began waving a gun around. Now, they say he never fired any shots inside the restaurant. As police were arriving, those customers and employees managed to get out of the restaurant through a back door. Investigators say at that point, one of their officers got between the group and the suspect and started ordering him to drop his weapon. They say that man did not listen to the police commands, and so that officer shot him.
He's protecting his citizens and doing it nobly and honorably in this manner, where he's putting himself in harm's way.
Now, the officer's name has not yet been released, but we're told that he has been with the department for 10+ years. They described him as experienced and well-trained. As for the suspect, he was taken to the hospital, and we did just learn a short time ago that he was being rushed into surgery, but no other details this morning about his condition. We're live in Mansfield. Tim Siesko, NBC5.
All right, Tim, thank you. And we are continuing to follow these developments for you. We will keep you updated right here on NBC5 Today, as well as online at NBCDFW.com.
All right, 6:01 is the time. Grant has some interesting developments out to the west. Grant, see some storms out there. They're coming our way.
Here they are. Well, if you've watched the loop closely here, I've got it looping over the past 3 hours. It looks like they're going to stay to the west and southwest of Dallas-Fort Worth. So the answer is no, Deborah, at least based on the radar trend. They're generally moving to the southeast. Stephenville, Comanche, Brownwood, Hamilton, you guys do have a chance for some heavy rain and some gusty winds along with some lightning. Right now there is a severe thunderstorm warning out in Eastland County for winds of over 60 miles per hour, perhaps 60 to 65 miles per hour between Ranger and Gorman, and that extends down toward Rising Star. And these storms are moving toward Comanche, also Dublin and Stephenville, and they may just affect you guys in Hyco and Hamilton over the next couple of hours. Look to be in Comanche at about 6:32, Stephenville 6:47, and Hamilton closer to 7:30. But the way they're moving, they will not be moving into Dallas-Fort Worth. But those of you out west, Mineral Wells, Jacksboro, Graham, you're seeing some rain right now. And if you live in the green shaded counties, go ahead and grab the umbrella for the possibility of those scattered showers and thunderstorms. For DFW, some clouds here this morning, starting in the 70s, and then sunshine and 92 later today. But with the humidity, it's going to feel more like 97. Goodness. All right, let's check on traffic. Crystal, how's it looking?
All right, thanks, Grant. Well, it's 6:03. I want to give you a live look, courtesy of Texas Sky Ranger. You're looking at Woodall Rogers right there in downtown Dallas, and you can see some of those lanes picking up that traffic flow, so we're starting to see that rush hour traffic develop, but no major issues slowing you down in the Dallas area. And if we take a look at our maps now, the only issue really that's worth mentioning is a stalled vehicle on the George Bush Turnpike blocking the exit ramp at Coit Road. That's in the eastbound lanes. And we still have some overnight construction on I-30 eastbound at Galloway Avenue as you are just passing through that 635 interchange headed out toward Rowlett. So if that is part of your morning route, just be mindful, not causing any major delays, though. We'll send it back to y'all.
All right, Crystal, thank you. Time now is 6:03. And the question so many people are asking this morning, why did he do it? That and many more questions will be what investigators continue to look into today as they try to get more information about the shooting at the federal courthouse in downtown Dallas just before 9 o'clock yesterday morning.
We have more than 200 FBI agents and partners aggressively pursuing every lead in this investigation.
This morning, though, there is still no motive for the shooting, but we are learning more about the suspect.
And also we're finding out the entire situation, of course, terrifying, but possibly the scariest firsthand account from yesterday's shooting coming from the Dallas Morning News photographer who was right in the middle of the shootout with police.
This morning, Ben Russell is in downtown Dallas to begin our team coverage. Ben, good morning.
Good morning to you, Deborah. Right now, we are about as close as anyone is going to be able to get to this federal building today. That's because the area in the immediate area surrounding it is still very much considered to be a crime scene. We are across a parking lot from the Earl Cabell Federal Building. It's looming large there in the background there. The building itself will be closed to the public today. The only people allowed inside of it will be federal employees, those same employees who had to take cover while all this was playing out yesterday morning. Now, we mentioned the area being a crime scene. That includes the parking lot behind us. That parking lot is full of cars still as of 6 o'clock this morning. Many of those cars are the exact same ones that were in the parking lot when this scene developed. That means they are considered to be in the police perimeter, and as a result, the owners have not been able to come collect them as of yet. And we are told from the FBI this area might be considered a crime scene at least until tomorrow. As for everything else in the immediate area surrounding the building, things are beginning to go back to normal. Traffic, for example, is moving along Commerce Street on the opposite side of the building from where we are now. Much of the business happening in and around downtown will be able to go on as expected today. A very much needed return to normal, considering what happened here yesterday. Live in Dallas, Ben Russell, NBC 5.
Exactly, Ben. And at 6:05, the suspect, 22-year-old Brian Clyde, died after he was shot by officers.
Yes, he was seen in video running across the street after exchanging gunfire with federal protection officers. Katie Blakey has more now on the video. Katie, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you both. This video is chilling, so let's get right to this video that was captured about 8 stories up. You see him here. This is the gunman. He's running towards those south doors at the entrance of the federal building, and you can even see him shooting into the windows right there. And right here, this is Dallas Morning News photojournalist Tom Fox. He's crouching there in that corner. So we know that federal agents inside the building were shooting out to the gunman. You watched him there run across the parking lot. He keeps going. He starts to slow down. We believe that's when federal agents or police, whoever was right there, struck him. So you see the video paused right there. As we were talking about, Dallas Morning News photojournalist Tom Fox caught in the middle of that crossfire. Listen to him, the recording he took as all of this was playing out.
Where's he at? Where'd he go? He didn't go past me. No, he didn't go past. He didn't go past me. No, he was here. No, he was here and came this way. I'm gonna go across the street. Which way did he go? No, he didn't come past me.
Yes, he did. He came right down here. Is he in the
I know, but he stopped here.
Is he in the
I was there. He didn't pass me.
Yeah, you can hear photojournalist Tom Fox there shouting to law enforcement, describing what he was seeing, what he was hearing. We're going to have much more on his conversation about what he had time to process, what was going through his mind during all of that. That'll be coming up for you at 6:30. Back to you both.
Katie, thank you. Every time we watch that video, just chilling there. And this morning, investigators are looking into the gunman's life prior to the downtown shooting. The investigation led them to Fort Worth, where he lived for a short time. Public records show he joined the Army at 18 and left 2 years later. From there, he was a student at Del Mar Community College in Corpus Christi. FBI agents were at the Watermark Apartments yesterday searching the suspect's apartment and talking to his neighbors. We're told he moved in just a few months ago, and neighbors say he kept to himself.
At the time, he's just my neighbor, but it's just in passing, never any conversation or anything. It was more so just passing, not even hello, any greetings or anything. So.
A family friend said he was divorced, but had recently reunited with his ex-wife, and they plan to get married again. We'll be staying on top of this story, bringing you the very latest in the investigation right here on NBC5 and on our website at NBCDFW.com.
All right, it is 8 minutes past 6, and it has happened again. Another person bitten by a shark in North Carolina. The new concerns it's raising next.
Plus, just because it's summer doesn't mean the learning needs to stop. Today we kick off a new NBC5 initiative to help your kids stay sharp during the long break. The book club they can join coming up.
And I am tracking thunderstorms to the southwest of Dallas-Fort Worth. In fact, a new severe thunderstorm warning down here for Comanche and a portion of Erath County. We'll talk about the threats here coming right up and just how close these storms will get to the DFW Metroplex after the break.
And when you're 30,000 feet up in the air, there's really no way of escaping anything happening inside of the airplane, right? The itchy situation that happened to these passengers. That's coming up in your rundown next. It is 6:12 on your Tuesday morning. Grab that cup of coffee or maybe tea and join us for the rundown. These are all the stories that are going to be trending in your social media feeds today. And we start with, oh snap, the Hunger Games are back. I kind of thought this was over after they said, may the odds be forever in your favor. It was just over. No, now we're hearing that there's going to be a prequel novel coming out in 2020, set 64 years before everything started. So Hunger Gamers unite. This is the story, though, that most of you will probably be talking about, especially if you have to fly frequently. Take a look at this one. I've heard of snakes on a plane, not ants on a plane. Passengers on a plane from Venice to Newark complained of ants everywhere on the United Airlines flight. Turns out the ants were spilling out of an overhead bag. The airline responded with a statement saying the ants have been isolated from a customer's bag. The affected areas have been wiped down. United said the plane was taken out of service for extermination. Proper authorities have been notified. I don't want to be 30,000 feet and stuck with a bunch of ants.
You can't go anywhere, can you?
You can't go anywhere. And as Grant said earlier, where would you have hidden?
In the lavatory.
In the lavatory.
I would have locked the door.
They don't give you that when they're like, you know, all the exits are this way and the ant spray is that way.
Yeah, I know. And the poor person whose bag it was,
they're not telling us that.
Hiding in shame.
Exactly.
They'll tell them what was at the bottom of that thing.
They had some food in there probably.
It used to be smoking or non-smoking ants or no ants?
Like
okay, we're done. We're done with the puns. All right, hey, we've got some storms out to the west, so let's jump to it here, talk about them. And you can see there's actually a severe thunderstorm warning, a couple of them on these storms here as they're moving pretty quickly now to the southeast. So on their current trajectory, they are not likely to affect Dallas-Fort Worth. See how they're moving kind of in a southeasterly direction. But you guys in Stephenville are going to get some wind and some rain out of this. Also down toward Comanche and Hamilton, Hyco. Storms are moving in your direction. This warning here for Comanche County and the western half of Erath County runs until 7 o'clock this morning. Heavy rain, maybe some quarter-sized hail, and we could have some wind gusts over 60 miles per hour. So Gorman, De Leon, Comanche, Dublin, the storms are going to put out some real strong winds. Could have some minor wind damage with these storms. So get away from those windows as they come on in. And you see Stephenville about 6:30, Brownwood 6:38, Hyco 6:53, Hamilton just after 7 o'clock. So be prepared for wind, heavy rain, lightning, maybe some small hail. For Dallas-Fort Worth, I think most of that rain is going to stay out to the west and down to the southwest. In fact, we're dry right now. Our Fort Worth skyline here showing some nice color with the sun getting ready to pop over the horizon. 73 is the temperature, the humidity fairly high. If you live in the green areas, grab that umbrella. It might come in handy for the next couple of hours. But for Dallas-Fort Worth, I think you're fine without it. We'll have some clouds this morning, then we'll have sunny and well, I'll go ahead and say hot. Hot conditions later today. 92, and yeah, with the humidity in place, it's going to feel hot, no doubt about it. Heat index forecast at noon, 92. Feel like 95 at 3 p.m. and then by 5, 6 o'clock, it's going to feel like 97 degrees. We do have a little better chance for DFW to see storms tonight and Wednesday. We'll hang a 30% storm chance on there, and then beyond that, just looks like hot, dry weather as we kick off summer officially. By late in the week, 97 Thursday, 95 on Friday. And the weekend weather, I think it'll be mostly dry. Saturday certainly looks dry, but there could be a couple isolated storms there Sunday and Monday. All right, so dry roads here in DFW, Crystal, but farther west, some heavy storms.
Yeah, thankfully, we're not getting any of that rain here in the Metroplex. And our traffic situation has been pretty good this Tuesday morning. We had a few issues earlier, but now things have calmed down. And all we're seeing is our typical rush hour traffic. So Sky Ranger over I-35E and 183. You can definitely see that traffic flow picking up, but nothing out of the norm. All right, and let's take a look at that map for us. Let's see here. All right, there we go. I wanted to show you the 635 and Northwest Highway. So we're starting to see, again, just a little bit of congestion there. Very typical for this time of the morning, but nonetheless, 635 is you know, definitely how it usually is, very, very packed. All right, we still have some construction here at I-30 eastbound at Galloway Avenue. We have a stalled vehicle in Fort Worth slowing things down, but all in all, nothing to complain about. If you need to head out for an early morning flight, the good news is DFW is looking much better today than it was yesterday. Only 20 delays and 19 cancellations. Dallas Love Field sitting at 10 delays and 1 cancellation. And all of our mass transit is running on schedule this morning, so nothing slowing you down there either. All right, we'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Crystal, thank you. 6:17, a 9th American tourist has now mysteriously died during a trip to the Dominican Republic. It's the 9th person to die at a resort in the Caribbean country since 2018. The tourist was Joseph Allen, a 55-year-old from New Jersey. Officials found him last Thursday in his hotel room at the Terra Linda Resort in Sosua. He was celebrating a friend's birthday. The FBI is investigating all 9 deaths.
This morning, North Carolina is dealing with its 3rd shark attack in just 3 weeks. This time, an 8-year-old boy off Bald Head Island. Thankfully, he is expected to be okay, but the attack happened about 40 miles from where Austin Reed was bitten by a shark while surfing a week ago, and 146 miles from where Paige Winter was severely injured when she was attacked June 2nd. Both of them survived as well. Typically, North Carolina sees only 2 shark attacks in the entire year. This year, they've had 3 attacks in just 3 weeks. Well, today, NBC 5 is kicking off our book club for kids of sorts.
Yeah, so join us just after the break. We'll give the details on our new program called Reading with You and NBC 5's effort to make reading fun during the summer. There's time now, 6:18.
Your time now is 6:21. Here are the top stories we're following. The pilot who died last week in a helicopter crash in New York will be remembered today. Timothy McCormick crash-landed on top of a 54-story building in Midtown Manhattan. The NTSB is still trying to figure out exactly why that helicopter pilot was flying in restricted airspace amid difficult weather conditions. Friends and colleagues speculate that the 58-year-old experienced pilot chose to land atop that building to save the lives of dozens of people below.
We expect to learn new details today in the investigation of yesterday's shooting at the parade to celebrate the Toronto Raptors' first NBA title. The shooting happened near the Nathan Phillips Square, which marked the end of the parade. 4 people were shot in this video. You see people running for safety after they heard those gunshots. We can tell you 3 people are in custody this morning.
Today in Wisconsin, town will vote on a controversial plan to stop bullying by punishing the parents of those bullies. The proposal would fine parents at Wisconsin Rapids School District up to $313 if their children are caught bullying.
The school can say, look, we've tried everything we can. The behavior's not stopping. Law enforcement, can you help us out in this process?
So listen, a nearby town already has a similar law, but the fines are rarely imposed. A warning letter usually is sent to parents. And that's been enough.
All right, 6:22 now. Well, this morning we are kicking off a new program. It is called Reading with You. It's NBC 5's 9-week initiative to keep North Texas kids sharp on their reading during the summer months.
Okay, so while it's pretty common to send your child to camp or play outside, there's something else every parent is encouraged to do this summer for their children. Our Wayne Carter is in the classroom to explain.
When it comes to picking up a book,
I go to the Dr. Seuss book.
Elijah, Alaya, and Anissa are all in. Each one has been reading every chance they get all summer long, but even they'll tell you, as much as they love it, it's hard to stay devoted to picking up a book.
Yeah, iPad book.
It's a struggle. Summer months mean more time to relax and play outside, but this isn't the only sliding that happens when school's out.
It can be up to 2 years that a child will slide back.
Carolyn Creel taught middle and high school students for more than 40 years. She says every year students come back from summer break behind.
You would spend at least 6 weeks at the beginning of school just reviewing the skills that they should have mastered the year before.
Summer slide can seriously impact academic success, but educators say the solution is simple. Make sure students are reading anything, and the slide seems to stop. But by getting these girls buried in books, they've soared during the summer. Just make sure they're enjoying what they're reading.
You know, a lot of times these kids will go to the library and they come back with like these comic books, and you're like, no!
That's okay.
It is.
That's okay, because any kind of media, print media that the child selects, if it means something for them and gets them engaged and gets them excited.
And that's what's happening for these young ladies.
You get smarter. And I love getting smarter.
Wayne Carter, NBC 5.
Yeah, who doesn't love getting smarter? Which just, I think just underscores the point why you've got to take summer slide very seriously, moms and dads and grandparents and aunts and uncles, and why we want to help combat that with this new program that we're kicking off this morning, a program called Reading with You. You saw Wayne there, but Laura's a big part of it as well.
So we're just going to be at summer camps, at libraries, different places across North Texas, helping your kids read all summer long. Here are some of the books that we've already tried out with some of the kids, and they say that they like them. So you might be asking, well, how do I get some of these books?
Right.
Okay, well, go to nbcdfw.com/reading. You'll find a list of all of these books. They're all appropriate for different ages. And our expert friends over at Reading Partners of North Texas are helping us get this reading list together. This week's reading suggestion is Juneteenth Jamboree. It does a good job of explaining the holiday. You can find that at all the libraries across our area.
And so far, the reviews from the kids who've seen the books?
They love them.
Yeah.
They love them. So, yes, we promise you they've been kid-tested, kid-approved.
All right, great.
Okay.
All right. 6:25 is your time. Just ahead this morning, 3 tornadoes touched down in North Texas where they hit, and the damage they left behind next.
And this morning, we are hearing from a photographer who was just steps away from the suspect, shooting into the federal courthouse in downtown Dallas.
And I'm tracking thunderstorms out to the west. In fact, severe thunderstorm warning for a portion of Erath County and Comanche County. These storms are moving toward Comanche and closing in on Stephenville. The main concerns here coming right up.
And this morning, we're also waking up to something good.
And I tell them, don't worry, whatever it is that's inside of you, we are going to bring it out.
How some North Texas cheerleaders are changing the definition of special needs. All of that when NBC 5 Today comes right back.
You're watching NBC 5 Today.
Shots fired at the federal courthouse in downtown Dallas.
It seems like you're in a war zone for a second.
The gunman died in a shootout with federal officers, and now investigators want to know why it happened. What motivated the man's violence?
As far as what he was trying to do, I mean, we don't know that completely right now. We're still reviewing video. We're still talking to witnesses.
It's the big story this morning. Another big story we're following for you right now, though, breaking out of Mansfield. Early this morning, an officer shot a man who had a gun inside of an iHop restaurant.
Yeah, this all happened about 4 o'clock this morning at the iHop that's on Debbie Lane, just off Highway 287. Police say the man was inside the restaurant and was waving a gun. We want to show you now a live look at the scene. You can see a police tape is still up, officers still there. The Texas Rangers are involved in this investigation. We can tell you that the customers who were in that iHop escaped through the back door, and the gunman followed him. By that time, police had been called. The officer stepped in, taking a position between the customers and the suspect, and that officer shot the man. His condition is not known, but we're told he was taken into surgery. And no one else was hurt in all of this. Here's what we know about the officer. Police tell us they're in Mansfield. It's a veteran officer with 12 to 15 years experience there in the Mansfield area. The Texas Rangers, again, are the lead in the investigation. We are working to get more information, and we'll keep you updated on what we learn.
All right, taking a look outside for you right now is meteorologist Grant Johnson. And Grant, some severe storms out west right now?
Yeah, look at these storms here. They're staying to the west and southwest of Dallas-Fort Worth. There is a warning in place for the western half of Erath County and also into Comanche County. The storms are generally moving to the southeast. So Hamilton, you guys will get the wind and the rain and the lightning, also Brownwood, but they're likely going to miss Dallas-Fort Worth entirely the way things are looking. Notice some of the purple here that's showing up just to the northwest of Dublin. That is likely some small quarter-sized hail, and the main threat is going to be these strong winds coming toward Proctor, Comanche, just kind of grazing Stephenville. Could see winds of 50 to 60 miles per hour. Should be in the Hamilton area here in about 36 minutes. So close to 7 o'clock, you'll get the wind, the heavy rain, and the lightning. There's some rain out toward Graham and perhaps Jacksboro and Mineral Wells. The chance of rain for you guys, but look at this sunrise here in Fort Worth. We're likely to miss the rain, but if you're in the green shaded areas out west, do grab the umbrella. Starting in the 70s here in Dallas-Fort Worth and climbing up to 92 later today. Let's check on traffic right now. Crystal, how are things looking?
Well, unfortunately, a lot has happened in the last 10 minutes or so. We have several accidents across the area. We're going to start off with this one, getting this aerial view courtesy of Texas Sky Ranger, and you can see that crash there has the far right right lane blocked, and you are looking at the westbound lanes on I-30 approaching the I-45 interchange right there at the downtown Dallas Mixmaster, and you can look at that back up there. We already know this is one of our most congested areas across the area, so let's go ahead and take a look at the map now and see what we're dealing with traffic-wise. It looks like you are seeing delays pretty far back, looking like that extends now over to Jim Miller Road, so add some extra time there. You're going to need about 20 minutes or so. All right, here we have 121 southbound at Bass Pro and Bethel. That's over in Grapevine, causing some delays for anyone headed toward DFW Airport, the north entry. All right, we have a couple other accidents, but stay tuned. I'll get to those in just a few minutes, and we'll send it back to Deborah for now.
Okay, thank you so much, Crystal. 6:33 is the time. The Earl Cabell Federal Building in downtown Dallas will be closed to the public today, a day after a gunman opened fire there. Right now, investigators are trying to figure out why the suspect, Brian Isaac Clyde, shot into the south entrance of the federal courthouse at the start of the workday yesterday morning. This video comes to us from Tim Brown, who recorded the exchange of gunfire from 8 floors up in an apartment building. The FBI said Clyde was armed with a rifle and more than 150 rounds of ammunition, but he never got inside the federal building. Federal Protection Service officers returned fire, hitting and killing the 22-year-old suspect as 300 employees inside that building took cover. One federal employee has minor injuries, but no one else was hurt.
These guys are our heroes today. We owe them a debt of gratitude. And if there's one thing that this incident has taught us, it is that the security system at the federal courthouse has worked to our benefit today, and we are significantly grateful for that.
And as we're watching this video here, a Dallas Morning News photographer was caught in the shootout between federal officers and the gunman. Take a look at this video with me. You can see Tom Fox right there in that red circle taking cover against the wall as pieces of stone come flying off from those bullets. As the situation unfolded, that photographer managed to snap this incredible picture of the suspect. You can see him there masked, wearing body armor and heavily armed. Our Brian Curtis was the first person to speak with Fox on camera about this terrifying ordeal. Our Ben Russell is live in downtown Dallas with that reaction right now. Ben?
And Laura, let's first take one more moment to consider just how close Tom Fox was to all this playing out. This is a still image of that cell phone video that we just shown, shot from an apartment building back behind us here. This is that gunman taking aim at the back doors of the Earl Cabell Federal Building. And this right here, just around the corner, that's photographer Tom Fox at the Dallas Morning News. Now, don't let this picture fool you. He was not simply cowering for cover. While this was going on, Tom Fox was working. He was not only taking pictures, but he was shooting video from his cell phone video that we've seen shared on our air and as well as our partners, the Dallas Morning News' website. He documented the dramatic moments playing out in that cell phone video. He was shouting out directions that he saw the gunman run to the approaching police officers and law enforcement officers who were trying to track him down. And then he also was able to fire off that unforgettable photograph of the moment the gunman turned the corner, rifle in hand, approaching the back doors of the federal building. Now, it was not until after all this was over that he could finally process just how it all played out.
When I got back to the office, somebody pulled me aside and said, "Hey, have you seen the video from the apartment?" I said, "No." So I could actually look at it in real time and understand how things progressed, and it went rather quickly. But when you're sitting there and you're just praying that he's not going to shoot you, it just lasts forever.
And those prayers ultimately paid off because Tom Fox tells NBC5 he feels fully. If the gunman had seen just how close he was to all this as it was playing out, he feels that gunman would have shot him. Live in Dallas, Ben Russell, NBC5.
Just a remarkable interview with Tom Fox. All right, Ben, thank you. Now, after the exchange of gunfire, investigators focused on the gunman's car, who we see here. It was parked just around the corner from the courthouse. Police brought in that robot to get a closer look at it, and officers forced open the trunk. Investigators were concerned there were explosives in that trunk, but the situation was given an all clear. There are still big questions this morning about why the suspect, identified as Brian Clyde, opened fire on the federal building. So Katie Blakey is here now with what we've learned about this 22-year-old suspect, Katie.
Yeah, of course, the big question, Deborah, why? Why did Brian Clyde open fire on that federal building? We have found no clear connection, no cases before the court, or any connections Clyde may have had with the people inside. Federal agents, of course, working to sort all of this out and then taking a hard look at his activity online, including his social media posts.
I don't know how much longer I have, but the storm is coming.
That was Clyde posting a video during some recent severe weather. He also showed a rifle on camera in that video. Clyde briefly attended Woodrow Wilson High School in Dallas before transferring to Austin his freshman year. At 18, he joined the Army, left 2 years later. From there, he attended Del Mar Community College in Corpus Christi. Federal agents visited his home yesterday at the Watermark Apartments in Fort Worth and spoke to neighbors who say they didn't know much about him.
I walked through there towards my apartment. An FBI agent pulled me over and said, "Have you seen this guy?" And the only picture they have of him is in his full Kevlar with the black on.
At the time, he's just my neighbor, but it's just in passing, you know, never any conversation or anything. It was more so just passing, not even you know, hello, any greetings or anything.
Pretty alarming for those neighbors there. A friend told us that Clyde was divorced but had reunited with his ex-wife, and they had planned to remarry. We'll continue to follow this part of the story throughout the day. Back to you.
All right, Katie, thank you. And the scene is still part of this active investigation in downtown Dallas. And because of that, cars that are parked inside of the perimeter cannot be moved right now. They will have to remain there until investigators are done with the scene. If you have a car in that area, you can call the Dallas Police Command Post for updates. Also, federal investigators say we can expect updates in the coming days, and when we get those, we will, of course, share them with you. We will have the latest on air and online at NBCDFW.com.
Your time now is 6:39 on a Tuesday morning. We want to get you caught up on those storms that blew through on Sunday. We now know they spawned 3 tornadoes across North Texas. There were 2 EF0s. One, as you see there, was over Eagle Mountain Lake. There was a second in North Fort Worth. The third and the strongest tornado was an EF1 in North Arlington, not too far from Globe Life Park. Here's a look at some of the damage caused by that twister. The National Weather Service says the tornado was on the ground there for a minute, only a minute, yet covered 2 miles, and in the process toppled trees and caused damage to homes northwest of Globe Life Park. Now we want to show you the damage in far north Fort Worth. This is in the Crawford Farms subdivision. The tornado there was on the ground for just over a mile, and in the process damaged homes and knocked down fences and trees. Grant is back now for a closer look at those tornadoes. 3 of them, Grant.
Yeah, and they're generally considered weak tornadoes. We're talking about EF1 strength tornado in the Arlington area. Those winds were up to 95 miles per hour. The one in North Fort Worth categorized as an EF0 with winds of 85 miles per hour. And there was another one, as mentioned, over Eagle Mountain Lake, also an EF0. But you can see even weak tornadoes can do considerable damage. And we have had an active storm season, as you well know. 29 tornadoes here this year, and typically we see about 25 in North Texas. To break it down by county here for you, let me zoom in here. We'll take a closer look at the counties in North Texas that have seen tornadoes. Van Zant has seen 5, Kaufman, Rockwall, Dallas, 1 tornado apiece. Denton County has seen 3 this storm season. Parker County, Palo Pinto at 2, and Fannin County up to the north. And yes, Tarrant County has seen 5. Let's hope it is over with as far as tornadoes are concerned. But Laura, I am tracking some morning thunderstorms. Update on those coming up.
Well, that is not good news, Grant, because weeks of heavy rain and swollen waterways are taking a toll on North Texas. In Irving, a popular city athletic complex looks like this, underwater, causing a headache and costing thousands in employee overtime. Our Larry Collins is live this morning at Trinity View Park in Irving, where part of the park can't be used because of the flooding. Larry.
Yeah, good morning, Laura. As you see, the park gates right here are closed for now. The good news, a lot of that water has gone down, so part of the complex may actually be able to open today. But what a difference a day has made. Take a look at this. This is video taken less than 24 hours ago. Fields completely covered. All you can see are soccer goals and street signs poking out over the water line. Better used for water polo than soccer. At some points during the summer, the baseball football fields have also flooded. Now, Parks and Recreation officials tells us this has been a true struggle. Summer sports leagues have had to cancel or move their scheduled games to be played elsewhere. More rain means more flooding. Even when there's no rain, get this, flood mitigation officials may need to open gates elsewhere to keep nearby lake levels down, and so it would bring the water right back here. Now, once that water does go down, the crews are out almost immediately until the next flood.
It's a constant struggle. I mean, the cleanup impacts our overtime budget. Our guys are out here on the weekends, late into the evening, trying to clean up because we know that the residents want to utilize our fields.
Now, so one of the main issues, the debris that comes in with the flooding. Large debris can damage equipment, it can damage fences, and the silt and mud that comes in has to be removed. Here outside the gates here, you can see a lot of the silt and the mud that's here this morning, and this is just a taste of it. There is quite a bit of it. Not to mention the mosquito and insect issues that come along with it. Out here this morning, I can tell you, we are feeling them. And it is dry for now, but again, at the next rain, they may have to do it all over again. We are live in Irving. Larry Collins, NBC5.
All right, Larry, thank you. And listen, it's nothing new that parks and rec departments use floodplains for parks, complexes, trails, and golf courses because of land price. But as they are experiencing it right now, they can be a headache in the rainy season. Well, there is nationwide outrage right now. A couple suing the city of Phoenix and its police department over a violent arrest. How the mayor and police chief will address the situation today.
Also ahead on this Tuesday morning, girls told no, find a house of yes. And what they did will make us all stand up and cheer. We'll wake you up to something good next on NBC5 Today. Welcome back, everybody. 6:46 now on a Tuesday morning. Good looking Tuesday morning out there for Dallas Fort Worth. Every morning we ask you to send your pictures and your video of the good things going on in your community. And the picture that we got the other day certainly got our attention.
So this year, Special Olympics Texas held its first state cheer championship, and the gold medalists were from Liberty Cheer in Midlothian. As Larry Collins learned, their inspirational story is something good.
All right, ladies.
Words matter.
Okay, are you ready?
And few know the weight of words like these particular cheerleaders.
There's a lot of places that people like my daughter are told no.
No, 2 tiny letters with soul-crushing power.
You know, you don't belong here. We can't work with you. You don't fit here. There's a lot of that her whole life. And this place is not one of those places.
This place is a house of yes.
Yes.
What a word for this troop of Special Olympics cheerleaders.
When Catherine was born, there was a list of things she would not be able to do.
A list of limitations that changed with encouragement.
And year by year, we have thrown that list out the window. And cheer is a big part of that.
In a word, Liberty cheerleaders are changing the definition of special needs.
That was so good.
I think I've learned that even though people are different, we are all basically the same and we're all human.
Let's try on a few more words. Fortitude, strength, courage.
Catherine is the epitome of persistence. She is not going to give up.
Go.
Support, inspiration, reassurance.
Push it, push.
Inclusion, family, devotion.
I'm one of the helpers, so I basically guide them and I encourage them and push them to where they will succeed. And
the greatest of all of them, love.
It's hard for me not to cry because I'm so excited and proud to see all the things that my child has learned.
No matter who you are,
Dip. 1, 2,
or the words you've told yourself.
It's easy, but kind of like right. It's hard.
This place is here to help you find your voice.
And I tell them, don't worry. Whatever it is that's inside of you, we are going to bring it out.
No more no. Oh, yes.
Okay, y'all are so awesome.
In Midlothian.
No, y'all are awesome.
Larry Collins, NBC5.
I think awesome's the perfect word. If you see something good just like that story there, share the pictures and information online with the hashtag something good. You can also send us all the information to ic@nbcdfw.com and wake up to something good with NBC5 today.
All right.
Yeah, those teams are so special. I have to say, my daughter actually does competitive cheer, and so our gym also has a team for children with special needs. And I believe I've seen that Mansfield team at a competition, and it's really cool because the crowd will get up, everyone gets on their feet and cheers these teams on because they know what a big moment this is for those kids, and we are all welling up with tears just because you're so proud of them for getting this opportunity to shine.
Yeah, great example of inclusion.
Yeah,
all right,
it's
thanks,
amazing.
Crystal. All right, 10 till 7 is your time. We've had a few storms kicking up out there.
And a lot of heat and humidity coming in. In fact, what do you get when you throw in a little bit of humidity and a lot of heat?
We get grants for
you get humidity. Humidity.
You get a North Texas summer. You're looking for something more clever, aren't you?
Well, I expect that from you, Grant. The bar's very high with you.
All right. Hey, look at these storms out to the west. They're likely going to miss Dallas-Fort Worth entirely. They're weakening rapidly, and they're moving to the southeast. So that combination is not very good for us, for our chances of seeing rain. And that's good because these are strong, even severe. Some gusty winds right now in the Erath County and Comanche County areas. Let's zoom in here a little closer. The red just indicates heavy rain. If you see any purple, there's a little hint there of some purple near Dublin, then that indicates a threat for some hail. So there may be some small hail with this activity, but the main story will be these 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. Those of you in Stephenville are right on the edge, but Comanche, you're getting heavy rain, lightning, some wind, and they're also moving down toward Brownwood. Should be in the Hamilton area here, just under half hour. Some rain out toward Graham and maybe Jacksboro. You might get a little bit of rain in Mineral Wells before they fall apart. Granbury, I think it'll be a close call. They should weaken before they reach you guys. So for Dallas-Fort Worth, I think we're going to stay dry. Chance of rain stays to our west, but tonight and tomorrow we do have another opportunity for some strong thunderstorms. Beautiful shot right over Dallas here from Texas Sky Ranger. Isn't that a beauty? We do have some clouds out there, but otherwise a good deal of sunshine. It's a warm and muggy start. 73 degrees is the temperature. Grab the umbrella if you're to the west and to the southwest with those showers and thunderstorms, some gusty winds, some lightning and heavy rain. But the severe weather risk is to the west of DFW today, so that's why as those storms are moving in our direction, they're weakening. The environment is just not supportive of storms here. So sunshine later in the day, the high at 92, but it's going to feel like 97. With the humidity. So make sure you hydrate and just don't overdo it. Tonight and Wednesday, there's a 30% chance of storms returning. Then after that, the faucet shuts off as the heat kicks up a notch. Weekend forecast, dry Saturday, slight chance of storms Sunday. Crystal.
All right, thanks, Grant. At 6:52, I want to show you this live look from Texas Sky Ranger. Over I-30 and I-45, we had an accident just a little bit ago. It just cleared out, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what it's looking like traffic-wise because it's going to take just a few minutes to get that traffic kind of cleared out a little bit. It's already a congested spot this time of the day, and it was backed up to about Jim Miller because of that earlier accident. But the good news is it has cleared out, so you should start seeing some improvement there. All right, now let's take a look at the map, and I want to show you this TxDOT camera at Loop 12 northbound in Trinity Elm Fork. This is right before you get to that 635 interchange. We had a little accident on the left-hand side. There were two cars there just a minute ago. One of them, I guess, drove off. I guess they got all the information exchanged that they needed to, but this SUV still blocking that left lane, making things pretty slow for folks on Loop 12. Now, when you leave home this morning, be sure to tune in to News Radio 1080 KRLD for traffic and weather together for a smooth ride into work. Deborah?
All right, it is now about 7 minutes till 7 on this Tuesday morning. The mayor of Phoenix is calling for a community meeting today to talk about the video that we see here. This video shows, a police officer pointing a gun and arresting a pregnant woman and her fiance following reports that their 4-year-old had stolen a baby doll from a store. A witness caught the incident on video when it happened last month. In this video, we also see the couple's 2 young daughters were there when this was going down. The couple is now suing the city of Phoenix for $10 million, saying the officers violated their civil rights, and they want the city to fire those officers involved. The police chief apologized for what we see here.
I am with everyone in the community who's angry, who's outraged. At the end of the day, I have to take responsibility and be accountable.
Now, Jay-Z has offered to help the family, calling the video a, quote, picture of hate. Oprah has also reached out to that family. The officers involved are now on desk duty as the investigation into what happened continues.
Your time now, 6 6:54 on this Tuesday morning. Still, the investigation is ongoing into that shooting that happened in downtown Dallas yesterday at the federal courthouse.
Yeah, we've got your day's top stories. Get you caught up on all of them right after the break. It is now 3 minutes till 7 o'clock. Let's get you ready for the day with the news you need to know before you go this morning.
And first things first, the federal courthouse in downtown Dallas will be closed to the public today. The building is considered a crime scene after yesterday morning's shooting. You see it there. It is still not clear why the gunman, Brian Clyde, attacked that building.
We just got an update on the officer-involved shooting inside the iHop in Mansfield. The suspect who waved around a gun inside that restaurant is now out of surgery and in intensive care. Police shot him earlier this morning after employees and customers escaped out the back of the building. No one else was hurt.
The National Weather Service says 3 tornadoes touched down in Tarrant County Sunday afternoon, 2 EF0s over Eagle Mountain Lake and in North Fort Worth. The other was an EF1 that hit Arlington, not far from Globe Life Park.
All right, now let's get ready for the drive into work, and here's Crystal.
Good morning. I wanted to show you a live look here at I-35W in Fort Worth. This is the northbound lanes you see here, a little bit more congested than those southbound lanes, and that's because they just had a stalled vehicle there blocking the 2 left lanes, and they just pulled out probably 30 seconds ago. That tow truck got it all loaded up and pulled out. But let me go ahead and show you what we're dealing with traffic-wise, because it had been sitting there for probably 20 minutes or so, and it caused quite a delay. So you're seeing delays now from about Seminary Drive as you head up toward downtown Fort Worth. Also, we have an accident still in Grapevine, and it looks like it might have just cleared. The icon just disappeared, but it was right there at Bethel Road and 121 southbound. So you're going to see some residual traffic from that accident as well. You were backed up from about Freeport Parkway as you make your way toward the north entry of DFW Airport. And that is about it. So let's go ahead and get a look at that forecast.
All right, thanks, Crystal. We've got some strong storms out to the west and southwest. That severe thunderstorm warning that was in place for Erath and Comanche County has been allowed to expire, but still a lot of heavy rain, lightning, some gusty winds around Dublin, Hyco, and in the Comanche area. It's just kind of grazing Stephenville, and it is moving down toward Hamilton, eventually Waco and Austin. But for Dallas-Fort Worth, looks like we're going to miss out on those storms. As you see the sunrise right there, we're in the 70s right now. 92 will be today's high. It's going to feel like 97, though, with that thick humidity. Storms do return tonight and Wednesday, 30% chance. And then after that, dry and just plain hot. Might be a little too warm today for International Picnic Day.
Is that what today is?
That's what today is, by the way. Yeah.
Let's have a picnic indoors.
There you go.
Or a nice place to have a picnic would be White Rock Lake. And amazingly, we've got a picture over that right now.
Have a great Tuesday, everybody.